All right, the time is now 1:30. I'm going to call to order the NSE meeting of April 12th, 2023. Before we begin, I want to just read the code of conduct. I want to remind the committee members and members of the public to follow our code of conduct at meetings. This includes commenting on the specific agenda item only and keeping comments to addressing the full body. Public speakers will not engage in a conversation with the chair or committee members or staff directly. All members of the committee, staff, and the public are expected to refrain from abusive languages. Failure to comply with the code of conduct, which will disturb, disrupt, or impede the orderly conduct of this meeting, will result in removal from the meeting. This meeting of the Neighborhood Services and Education Committee will now come to order. Can the clerk please conduct roll call?
Candelas.
Here.
Torres.
Here.
Duan. Ortiz.
Present.
Davis. We're at quorum.
Okay. And in regards to the consent calendar, I believe there's no consent items for this meeting. So let's move along. All right, let's go to review of work plan. It's my understanding that the city initiatives roadmap, digital empowerment program strategies to maximize affordable connectivity options for residents was voted to be dropped per last week's Rules Committee. Do we need to take a public comment on this item?
If there's no vote, we don't need to take public comment.
Okay. Let's move on to the regular agenda. So item D1, City Initiatives Roadmap, Children and Youth Master Plan Status Report. And I believe we have a presentation from Angel Rios and Laura Buzo.
All right, we'll turn it over to staff. Laura, Maria, and Michelle.
Thank you, Angel. Good afternoon. My name is Laura Buzo, Assistant to the City Manager in the City Manager's Office. And I will introduce my two colleagues who are here in the box.
Good afternoon. My name is Maria De Leon, Deputy Director of the Recreation Division with PRNS.
Good afternoon. I'm Michelle Ornott, Deputy Director of Public Services, San Jose Public Library.
Thank you. It is our pleasure to be here today to provide you and the public a status update on the Children and Youth Services Master Plan for the City of San Jose. So next slide. Before providing an update, we would like to ground this presentation on why the Children and Youth Services Master Plan for the City of San Jose as a citywide strategy and approach is significant to our community. And so we begin with a map. The City of San Jose has a little over 1 million residents. Of these, over 315,000 are children, youth, and young adults from birth through age 24. And while this map shows San Jose as one unified city, everything is not as it may appear on the surface. It is well documented that there are inequities that create a chasm through our city that impacts everyone. Many children and youth in our city do not have access to the same resources, support systems, and opportunities to achieve their full potential. Unfortunately, these vulnerable children are not always in a position to advocate for themselves. Racial, socioeconomic, educational, and health disparities and inequities often lead to poverty, displacement, violence, homelessness, and other poor outcomes. These childhood experiences will shape and influence their life decisions and course. These children will themselves be parents, caregivers, employees, neighbors in our community. So as we embarked on developing the Children and Youth Services Master Plan, it has not been lost on staff from the City Manager's Office, the Library, Parks, Recreation, Neighborhood Services, the Office of Economic Development, the Office of Racial Equity, and many others, that we have a duty to uplift and interweave throughout the master plan their lived experiences, their voices, their expertise, as well as their hopes and dreams for all children. With that said, we are working with all sectors of the community to work towards dismantling systemic racism, structural barriers, persistent inequities, and generational trauma. The ultimate goal is to narrow and someday eliminate the chasm. It will not happen by accident. We must act with intention if we are to create a city where all of our children can thrive. The work we do today will shape the lives of today's and also tomorrow's children and youth. In the interest of time, we won't cover each slide in depth. Oops, I just realized I'm missing a page here, sorry. So we begin with the background. With that said, we are first and foremost grounding the development of the master plan on the number of city council directives and city policies, strategies, and initiatives so that there is alignment. In your packet is attachment A that includes more information. In the mayor's June 2021 budget message, the city manager's office was directed to develop a comprehensive cradle-to-career youth development master plan. City council recognized that children, youth, young people, especially from specific zip codes who were already experiencing a myriad of socioeconomic challenges, were disproportionately impacted by the pandemic, thereby exacerbating their situation. Unfortunately, a year later, we still don't fully know the long-term impact of the pandemic on our most vulnerable children and youth and their families. The master plan is also informed by 2 joint special meetings between the City of San Jose Neighborhood Services and Education Committee and the County of Santa Clara Children, Seniors, and Families Committees, which were held in September of 2021 and March of 2022, as well as the San Jose Bill of Rights for Children and Youth and the most recent audit report, the Education Digital Literacy Strategy, the Youth Empowerment Alliance Strategic Plan from Parks, Recreation, and Neighborhood Services, the Racial Equity Impact Analysis from the Office of Racial Equity, City Council's approval of the $10.5 million of ARP American Rescue Plan funds for Children and Youth Services, the San Jose Education Initiative, Education Policy 0-30, as well as the COVID-19 Recovery Task Force recommendations. The overarching goals of the master plan is to create and expand pathways and supports from cradle to career for all San Jose children, youth, and young adults, birth through age 24. The vision is that all children, youth, and young adults, particularly those most vulnerable, have increased opportunity pathways to gain 21st century skills that lead to better health outcomes, sustainable employment, and a competitive living wage so that they can live and thrive in the community. Therefore, through a racial equity lens and centered on trauma-informed and collective impact practices, the master plan will provide a strategic framework and approach to changing the narrative for many of the youth in our community. The master plan will ensure alignment of programs, initiatives, and strategies across city departments, as well as with those of external partners where it's appropriate. Provide guidance on policy priorities and investments, operationalize the Bill of Rights for Children and Youth, provide a continuum of support for children and youth from cradle to career, and from prevention to intervention. Develop a strategic, coordinated, and integrated service delivery system, as well as develop long-term and sustainable impact and measurable outcomes.
Excuse me, do you mind speaking more into the mic?
Oh,
The
yes,
people on
sorry.
Zoom won't be able to hear. Thank you.
Key highlights. Over the course of this fiscal year, we have accomplished significant milestones. So we developed community engagement activities to engage families, youth, service providers, city staff, and community stakeholders. We identified primary and secondary data, literature, and reports from across city departments as well as from external organizations and other entities. We are leveraging City of San Jose and Santa Clara County initiatives so as not to duplicate efforts and to align where possible. We developed a teaming structure of committees and advisories, and we launched the design of an integrated service delivery system. So I know you can't see it very well here, but it is included in your attachment B. The teaming structure consists of committees and advisories to provide input and guidance at every step of the design and implement and development process of the master plan. The team structure includes a mayor, city council, neighborhood services and education committee, which provide guidance and direction on policy and priorities, as well as an executive committee comprised of city departments, directors, and program staff. Community advisory comprised of city staff, diverse community stakeholders, as well as parent, caregivers, and youth and young people. We also have a technical committee that is building an integrated service delivery system, which we will share more about. We have a parent-caregiver advisory. We are engaging parents and caregivers of diverse perspectives and lived experiences. We're also working closely with the Youth Commission, who are our thought partners throughout this process, and also engaging youth with diverse lived experience through a youth advisory. Our community engagement strategies have been centered around empathy, thoughtfulness, respect, and authenticity, and this has been done by convening a number of executive committee and community advisory meetings, brainstorming sessions to solicit input and guidance. We have been meeting monthly with the Youth Commission to provide updates, as well as we co-hosted 3 youth town halls. We've had a number of community conversations through focus groups, presentations, as well as one-on-one and small group meetings with community stakeholders. Over the last fiscal year, we've met with over 700 individuals in the community. Since last spring, we have been designing and developing an integrated service delivery system. In February, we completed our 2 citywide surveys, one for youth and one for parent and caregivers, where we received nearly 2,000 completed surveys. And then most recently, we hosted a community stakeholder with approximately 7 attendees representing diverse partners in February. So across the numerous community engagement activities and conversations, 6 key themes were raised consistently by families, youth, young adults, service providers, city staff, and other community stakeholders. A common thread across these 6 themes are the inequities families, children, and youth not only experience, but they acknowledge that they exist. And you can refer to attachment E for more information on each specific theme. But the common interest was around mental health, mental wellness and belonging, childcare, built environment, career readiness, development and opportunities, housing, and education. As mentioned previously, while the key deliverable and priority is the completion of the master plan, as we all delved into the planning and community engagement process, it became clear early on that the City of San Jose has a critical and important role in improving the quality of life and developmental trajectory of our young residents by strengthening families, neighborhoods, and communities. To this end, staff recognize that as part of this interconnected ecosystem, no one entity, institution, or organization can address the myriad and often complex needs that families and children and youth have. As we build an effective integrated service delivery system, we are considering the 6 conditions of systems change. Looking at structural change, creating and reinforcing policies, practices, and resource investment flows, which is often the most tangible and most common. However, we also need to consider the relational change, which requires shifting power dynamics, building relations and connections across systems so that it's sustainable. And lastly, to work towards common goals, vision, and values, we need to have transformative change, which requires us to shift our mental models so that we don't continue to work as usual. As we know that services are often fragmented, outcomes are inconsistent, and families and children continue to hurt, often for generations. We are developing the integrated service delivery system through a collective impact approach and through 3 phases. We're at the end of phase 1, which has been centered around exploration, where we conducted assessments and analysis and identified needs and priorities. And we are soon moving into phase 2, which is installation, so developing shared culture, vision, and developing the single system of support. And then lastly, moving into implementation and sustainability, ensuring that we build in a feedback loop and continuous quality improvement, and also ensure ongoing and authentic engagement of families, partners, and city staff. So as we continue to develop the service delivery system and the key elements of the master plan, we will finalize the opportunity pathway goals, the objectives, the key results and performance measures, as well as the evaluation tools to assess impact, outcomes, and reporting structure and cadence. Next slide. So this provides you just a quick overview on our timeline from now through the summer and into early fall. As mentioned, we're finalizing our analysis and summary of our primary data. We continue to review secondary data, literature, and other local reports. We will also continue to engage our community stakeholders and our youth commission and continue the work in developing our integrated service delivery system, continue integrating the city and county initiatives, and then lastly, incorporating all of these elements into the actual Children and Youth Services Master Plan document. And then soon transitioning to designing and developing an implementation work plan. So on behalf of myself and Angel Rios, Deputy City Manager, we would like to thank city staff, and in particular the library, the PRNS, and the many community partners, families, children, and youth that have joined us in this journey. They have been beyond supportive and collaborative. Collectively, we can make San Jose the best place to raise children and youth. Together, we can ensure that regardless of a child's or youth race, ethnic or social economic background, family history, LGBTQ+ identity, developmental disabilities, or zip code, that none of these factors, taken together or alone, will be a barrier to accessing resources and support systems and to achieving their dreams and full potential. We have done considerable work over the past year and look forward to finalizing the master plan to cement our commitment, as well as to provide a common vision for serving and uplifting all children and youth in San Jose. Just one last point, we included in your packet attachment C, which has a list of organizations and community stakeholders that have participated in our executive and community advisory meetings. This is not an exhaustive list. We have many other organizations that have participated in our engagement activities over the past year. And so with that, we end our presentation and welcome your comments and questions.
Thank you so much, Laura. I wanted to see if we have any public comment.
Yes, Paul Soto.
Yes, Paul Soto from the Horseshoe. That report had Angel Rios all over it, and thank you very much for writing it. The language is correct. It's absolutely correct. What is missing from that language is concrete examples as to who is responsible for this, and that is the city itself. I successfully returned that racial equity definition back to the city twice successfully because it was inadequate. And I don't mean to impugn the work that is being done by Angel and Laura. It's excellent work. I know that the legal department, though, is the one that is behind preventing these histories from being institutionalized concretely. You see, the only way that we're going to get to a point where any of these words, because they're words right now, they don't have any substance or meaning until the concrete example is given within this context. Then once that happens, then you get the allocation. I'd like to draw you, what I mean by that is that look at how much information was shared just in this report. That was a lot of information. You just gave my life history and the history of my mother and father and the history of my nana and the history of my abuelita, just in that. But yet, look at how much money is allocated, $472,000. Are you kidding? That is disgusting. That is embarrassing. I'm talking to the city now. That is embarrassing for you to sit there and allow the city to produce documents like that. And then the way you're going to address that is $462,000. Are you serious? That's insulting. Go ahead and keep it. Because all that's going to happen is a bunch of nonprofits are going to be fighting over that. Because what they do is they use this language and they exploit what has happened to me. They exploit what happened to my parents. Because this isn't just one generation, this is generations, plural. So the city has a lot to account for. I want that budget allocation
Kathleen.
Thank you. This is Kathleen King from Healthier Kids Foundation, and I'm very excited about this effort and appreciate working with Laura Buzo and Angel Rios on it. We are close to the 625 children we committed to do My Health First, which is a wellness program, dental, vision, and hearing. And our work is screening, but the major part of our work, our secret sauce, is getting the children to the care they need. And I'm very supportive also of the approach of data and understanding. And I feel for the last speaker, we want to do everything we can to help our children. The city of San Jose is 22% children, but are 100% of our future. And with the wellness screening, 43% of the children showed some issues. 20 showed they needed the imminent help at that moment. In dental, 45% showed they had need. 1/5 of those had emergency dental needs, and for vision, 19%. So I would also say that 11 of those we've worked with needed food. And 77% of the children were Hispanic, 1% white, 16% Asian, and 1% African American. What I'd also like to say is I'm so thankful and appreciative because everything the city does allows the credibility for us to go get other funds. So for the funds you put in, we were able to help more than 2.5 times that many children because of the credibility of San Jose City being involved in this. Thank you so much.
Matthew.
Good afternoon, council members and staff. My name is Matthew Tinsley, and I am the director of the Strong Start Initiative at the Santa Clara County Office of Education. On behalf of County Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Mary Ann Dewan, we would like to commend the city on their continuing development of the Master Plan for Children and Youth. As you synthesize your findings, we encourage you to include recent and upcoming resources from the SCCOE, including the Head Start Community Assessment, the local Early Education Planning Council's Community Needs Assessment, and the upcoming mid-implementation review of the countywide Early Learning Master Plan, so that all of our efforts can be aligned and moved together. We look forward to our ongoing partnership in this work. Thank you very much.
Blair.
Hi, Blair Beekman. I have a few items to discuss. To begin with the review of the work plan, even though that the initiative's roadmap, digital empowerment program strategies, you talked about digital issues at council a few days ago. I don't think it was quite the title.
Blair, can you please keep your comment to D1?
I have a pretty important comment that I don't think you practice proper Brown Act ideas, and I think we need to be clear about that before we continue, and so you can work on that next time. I'll talk about this more at open forum time. From there, to go back to this item, thank you for it. I think it's related to the concepts around child and youth human rights issues that you've been practicing recently. I can't quite remember its name, but it's related to that good work that you've been doing. So thank you for that. Thank you for the words of Paul, who very nicely who reminded myself that persons like now Supervisor Sylvia Arenas, working at the county level, she's working really hard to bring her concepts of what equity is about to the county level. We all understand equity, yet Supervisor Arenas has to work hard to prove what she considers the concepts of equity that need to be better addressed now at the county level. I think Paul's asking the same question. What do we do here at the local level to better develop longstanding problems and issues? And I hope Paul can have deep conversations with Angel Rios and Laura Buzo about these subject matters. And good luck in how to bring in, the work that I do with civil rights and civil protections and accountability with the future of technology. I think teaching those things to children is incredibly important and not have to be.
Wendy.
Hi, my name's Wendy Mahaney Guruhu. I'm a education and child care advocate, also the City of San Jose's chair of the Library Commission and the vice president of San Jose Unified School District and a member of local child care planning council. I know, I never sleep. I want to really thank Laura for her leadership on seeing this through every day. She dreams about it, thinks about it, works on it, and I've never worked with a finer person than Laura Buzo. Angel as well. The point of my comments are really surrounding the fact that all the components were brought to this master plan by community, by the advocates, and by the experts. It was a year-long holistic approach and connected to other governmental systems. I agree with some of the comments from before. If 22% of the city's residents are children, then 22% of the budget should be allocated towards children and children's initiatives. The amount allocated for this is incredibly low. I can't see how this year-long work on this reimbursement or this revenue is going to do very much. I would highly encourage council members to invest deeply in this particular work, because this is the work that has the highest return on investment when we think about the adults coming into the city of San Jose or growing up and into the city of San Jose. So I just want to say thank you, Laura and Angel, for the incredible work, and I'll continue to be your partner. Thank you.
Laura?
Sorry about that. Here I am. My name is Laura Clendaniel. I'm the VP of Programs with Healthier Kids Foundation. I want to thank you and the city, thank the city for their support of Healthier Kids Foundation this year and for including us in the Children and Youth Services Master Plan. As you know, our mission is to remove health barriers impacting the learning and life success of Silicon Valley youth. And funding is dedicated to providing health screenings to youth in Alum Rock for vision, dental, hearing, and emotional wellness, along with follow-up support services based on students' screening outcomes. And I know that Kathleen was on earlier, but I just want to echo some of those really high-level needs that we're finding, and that's 43% of kids we screened had unmet emotional needs. 43%. And many of those students were students that the school did not know were struggling as significantly as they were. And also 45% had unmet dental needs and 19% had unmet vision needs. And so the need is high. You know, each of these students becomes a case for our team of parent advocates to follow up with. And some highlights so far, they're still continuing to work on those cases, but we've gotten 20 students into behavioral health services, 50 into appropriate dental treatment, 43 have received glasses or appropriate services from an optometrist. And so I just want to thank you again for continuing to be our partner and support our programming. And again, just thank you very much. We're very excited to be included in this master plan.
Back to the committee.
Thank you. Now we will move into council comments, council questions and comments, starting with Councilmember Torres.
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you, Laura, for that presentation, and Maria and others, along with Angel as well. As you can imagine, for myself, as a former participant of the Washington United Youth Center, this type of work is very, very important. So also a huge thank you to our community members and our organizations who are helping us create this very, very important plan for our youth. So we all know, and we should know, that healthy and safe children and families are the bedrock of any city. I mean, that's point blank, right? And so it's very important to invest in our children and in our youth. And it's, I sat in a meeting on Monday where the protocol meeting of when an unfortunate gang incident happens in a council member's district. And throughout the whole meeting, I was just so very saddened because the incident happened in the neighborhood that I grew up in. and the victim was a teenager. The suspect was a teenager. And so it's unfortunate that 2 more lives from our youth were lost on that day. I know one of them is unfortunately no longer with us, and the other one now has to go through the criminal justice system, and who knows where that individual may end up. But just I just sat there, one, very sad, but then two, at the same time, a little bit upset of why this continues to happen. Why do our youth keep falling through the cracks? It is very important to create a cradle to college career, college to cradle, thank you, cradle to career life for many of our youth. And if we don't invest in our youth, and we don't invest in our children and our families, right? I already mentioned it. They fall into crime. They become homeless, right? They just eventually join the cycle of poverty that unfortunately has so many negative connotations for their lives. And by the way, it's issues and concerns at the top of the minds of every resident here in the city of San Jose, right? Right now, right, our 5 focus areas have to do with the unhoused, have to do with safety and crime, and and it's no accident that is happening because we have always underinvested in our youth, especially youth in some of our most important zip codes here in the city of San Jose. And I don't have to tell you which ones they are, right? 95116, 95110, 95112, 95127, 95122, right? Those are 95148, right? Those are all areas where a majority of our youth, unfortunately, do not go to college, but go straight to prison or live a life that we don't want them to live. So, one, thank you so much that you all are doing this. It takes, I don't like that cliche, but it is very important to say it takes a village. It's going to take all of us to continue to make sure that we're investing in our youth and in our families, because they are our future. It's true. I don't like that saying those cliches, but it is 100% correct that if we continue to invest in our youth and make sure that they don't have a gun but have a book, right? That they don't have a knife but have a booklet for middle school, high school, college, whatever it may be, that the return on investment is going to be rewarding, and it's going to set the foundation for a healthy city and healthy communities. So I'm committed to making sure that we continue and we don't ignore and we don't put it in the back burner, because sometimes, we have this policy on paper and it's not implemented. And I'm committed as a former participant for the Mayor's Gang Prevention Task Force that we are actually implementing this and making sure that this master plan comes to fruition. So, and with that, I motion to support item.
I'll second.
Thank you.
We have a motion and a second. Now we're going to move to Councilmember Dewan.
I just want to say thank you, Angel and Laura, and all the participants out there. All of us have to work together to make this program work for our youth. I think every one of us, somewhere down the line, we used to be a little bit younger, and we needed the little extra guidance or the help. I happen to have 3 kids, and they're all adults now, but I remember when there's a lot of time. There was trial and errors and a lot of headaches in between, but there's a lot of joy. And I echo what Councilmember Torres said. We have to invest in our youth because that is our future. At my age, I'm going towards the pasture, but somewhere down the line there. But I would love to make sure that we all of us work towards making the city, the environment, the safe safety for our children, especially we got to get back to what you call the basic. And we have to invest into family because our family unit is pretty much broken most of the time because most parents now are working 2 or 3 jobs to make ends meet and to trying to pay for the apartments or their housing, and they don't have enough time to spend with the children. And it doesn't matter how many programs we have, it helps, but I would love to invest more into family so that way we can find ways to support parents in childcare and getting better jobs so that way they have a little bit of time to just have dinner with the children, to be there with them and guide them. Thank you very much for all your effort and continue. God bless.
Thank you, Councilmember Dewan. With that, I'd like to make a few comments. I want to thank city staff, both Laura and Angel, and their team for the great group of partners that have come together to enhance the Children and Youth Master Plan. The outreach and participation that is informing this plan is really amazing to see, especially because the work being developed here is of critical importance to our working class families of San Jose. And it's exciting to see because as a recipient of youth services at the old Moxa Center in East San Jose, and through other programs like Clean Slate and just community resources, I know that the work that'll come out of this plan will have life-changing outcomes for generations to come, right? Because I know that if it wasn't for these programs, if it wasn't for the Youth Conservation Corps that was around when I was younger, I would not be sitting before you today. Both the report and the presentation were very thorough, so thank you so much for that. I wanted to move into a budgetary question. It's my understanding that after today's action, there will be about $624,000 left in unallocated funding, and a remaining $10.5 million to fund the actions and activities. Is that correct?
Yeah, Councilmember, I'll take that question. So we started with respect to the Children and Youth Master Plan funding. We started with $10.5 million. In year 1, which was our goal was to immediately do something around reaching out to youth in San Jose, especially those that have been adversely or impacted in a more profound way by the pandemic. And so in year 1, we allocated about $6 million, yes, $6.1 million. And then this year, we are rebudgeting because we wanted to make sure that we weren't just spending that money kind of recklessly, but rather we were being very strategic and targeted about how we're using those funds. We are rebudgeting $4.3 million in this year, 2024. And so that'll be that. What we are leaving is $1.1 million unallocated, with a recommendation to continue the funding of the interdepartment team that we have that's working on developing this plan and coordinating all this work. You've heard a lot from myself, from Laura, but we have staff from the library, from Parks, Recreation, Neighborhood Services, many other departments in the city as well. And so what will remain in the unallocated portion is about $624,000. But again, that's on top of the $4.3 million that we are recommending continued investment into 2024. The other thing I want to clarify too is that that is not the only investment that the city is making. This is all on top of pre-existing funding that we're providing through the library, through Parks, Recreation, Neighborhood Services, San Jose Best, the Youth Empowerment Alliance. So that's over and above that. So I want to make sure that we're being very clear that this is not the only investment in children and youth. Having said that, I would also say that looking forward, the way we're approaching this strategy is that we don't want this, to the council member's point earlier, we don't want this to just be another strategic plan or another kind of 3-step, recommendation for what we can do in the short term. We're really looking at cause and effect. We're looking at if we're going to change these cycles of poverty that many of our young people find themselves entrapped in, we're going to have to make systemic change, which means we're going to have to be more strategic in both how and where we invest, who we partner with, and how we make sure that all these partnerships result in creating opportunity pathways that really displace for example, the prison pipeline that you mentioned, right? The zip codes that you mentioned, 3 of those are responsible for more than 75% of our prison population, right? We know that there's clearly a prison pipeline in our city. So if we're going to disrupt that pipeline and create opportunity pathways that lead to meaningful jobs, which will then begin to disrupt the poverty cycle, then we're going to have to take a different approach. And yes, we are going to need to invest more heartily into this. And so I view this as really a down payment, towards that end, right? Having said that, we know that there's also other competing interests, but I think Kathleen King said it best, in terms of, youth, maybe 22% of the population, but 100% of our future. And if we're true to that, then we are going to have to kind of step up our game and invest more.
No, exactly, and that's really why I asked that question, because I know that if we really want to address crime in our neighborhoods, if we want to address, the houseless epidemic, if we want to address, wage disparities in the city, youth mental health crisis, we're going to have to invest in the youth. It's just that's how we prevent these in the future. A lot of the other ways is how do we address the outcomes of, I guess, broken systems, right? That's how we got youth in jail. That's what, instead of youth in colleges, that's why we have individuals on the street instead of being able to afford housing here in the area. In regards to the comments around the current funding, because what you're telling me is different than what I'm hearing in the comments, right? Because Trustee Guru, who mentioned, I think it was like $465,000. Can you address that item that she raised?
Yeah, I'm not sure the math on that piece, but I will tell you that the general math is when you look at just the 10.5 in ARP dollars, which came out of the COVID pandemic response money. What the mayor and council did was they basically took of that full allocation 10.5 million and said, okay, let's set this aside and let's make sure that we're addressing kind of immediate needs that we have. And so that's what we've done there. And then, as I said earlier, what we did is in year 1, we allocated $6 million. Some of that went directly through city departments. A lot of it went to community-based organization partnerships. For example, $500,000 allocated for mental health screenings, as an example. 1.7 million in scholarships, $500,000 in what we call destination pathways, where many youth in our own city can't afford to go to Happy Hollow Park and Zoo, Lake Cunningham Action Park. Fully covered those summer camp access. Not a single child that applied was turned away, right? Anybody. And so year 1 was $6 million. In 2024, we're carrying over an additional 4.3 million to help with that. And we're still leaving that 1.1 million unallocated, again, minus the $499 for staff, to basically seed any of the new recommendations that are going to be going forward. Our plan is to complete this plan and present it to the mayor and council by October. And so we want to leave that remaining, $400,000 to $500,000 and whatever else is unspent of the previous allocations to help seed any new recommendations, in addition to whatever else we can get funded either by the city, as well as we're also reaching out to the corporate sector and to philanthropy. So that's
great, thank you. And that was going to lead to what I was going to say next is if we do have to come back to the council. I mean, I'm former president of the Santa Clara County Board of Education, former trustee for Franklin McKinley. We got a San Jose Unified trustee and a various trustees. You have individuals who believe in investing in youth here. So if we got to look at this and brainstorm on how we can continue to fund this to address the root cause of our systemic problems, I think we could have that conversation. And then finally, I'm interested in understanding how this plan will change the metrics with which the city understands success and positive outcomes for those partners who are a part of the plan. I think it's extremely important for us to always focus on outcomes that we want to see with our youth, but also I believe it's also important to honor the work of our partners and be kind of transparent and patient as we look at reformatting these performance reports. So I just wanted to hear, what your thoughts are in regards to that.
Yeah, I'll start, and then Steph can. We're looking at performance. We're doing this with a real strong emphasis on measuring impact, right? And not impact just for the sake of measuring numbers and data, because there's so much data out there, and so our approach is to hone in on the data that matters, the data that produces results that matter, as well as lived experience, because sometimes what's actually happening in the community doesn't always end up in a data point until years after, right? So our intent here is to be proactive and responsive in real time by looking at not only kind of academia and longitudinal studies, for example, that come out of academia, looking at data in terms of poverty data that we collect here at the city as well as through the county, and then also hearing from community voice in terms of lived experience, synthesizing those three aspects and coming up with performance metrics that we could then measure against the investment that we're making, right? I'll give you some examples. Recidivism, right? We know that, for example, here in our county, historically, we usually hover at about a 70% recidivism rate, right? If there's a first-time offender, somebody has some kind of interaction with the law, there's a good chance that 70% of first-time offenders will recidivate within the first 12 months. So our goal would be to basically knock that number way down. So if by redirecting our young people to more positive pro-social opportunities, that number comes down, then that is an indicator that we're on the right track, right? But we can't stop there, right? I think it's Father Greg Boyle from Homeboy Industries made a comment one time, and he said, "Nothing stops a bullet like a job," right? Yeah. So it's not enough to just stop somebody from reoffending, but it's how do we then provide other opportunity pathways through education, through recreation, through the library, through our community-based organization partners, through our faith community, through our churches, to continue that transformation, right? And then create a system of care throughout that journey, because we know that, you're 13, then you become 14, then you become 15, and then when there's a new 15-year-old, there's still a new 13-year-old coming in the pipeline, right? So we're looking at systems change from that perspective. Heavy lift, more labor intensive. Yes, it will require more public and community investment, but this is an opportunity for us to kind of put our money where our mouth is, right?
Oh, that's good. And just I support results-oriented programs. I mean, we shouldn't just be preparing youth for a certificate in jobs. We should be preparing them to get the job. There needs to be positive labor outcomes, whether it's people getting raises, people obtaining new jobs, or getting promotions, things like that. So I'll just close out and I'll call for the vote. Thank you.
The vote was unanimous.
All right, thank you so much. We'll now go to item D2, San Jose Conservation Corps audit report. I believe there is a staff presentation from Joe. Yes, thank you.
Good afternoon, Joe Roy City Auditor. I'm here with Brittany Harvey and Ricky Tran from my office to present to you our audit, San Jose Conservation Corps. The Corps provides essential services to residents. However, the city can better monitor performance and promote workplace safety. We're joined in the box by Neil Rufino from the Department of Parks, Recreation, and Neighborhood Services. Representatives from the San Jose Conservation Corps are here as well. San Jose Conservation Corps is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that connects young adults from under-resourced communities with job training and educational opportunities. The city has contracted with the Conservation Corps since its inception in 1987 for projects related to park maintenance, cleanup programs, and others. In response to the COVID-19 pandemic, the city expanded its reliance on the Conservation Corps to address impacts of the pandemic on the city. In 2022, the city spent $12.6 million on the agreements with the Conservation Corps. Prior to COVID-19, the city spent less than $500,000 per year. Department of Parks, Recreation, Neighborhood Services, or PRNS, is the primary city department that works with the Conservation Corps, and the objective of this audit was to review the Conservation Corps service delivery and expenditures of funds under city contracts. At the time of the audit, the Conservation Corps was working with the city in 3 primary program areas: the Resilience Corps Environmental Pathways Program, which is a jobs program for unemployed and underemployed young adults, primarily from low-resource census tracts, focusing on environmental impact projects in the city parks and trails. Beautify SJ, which is a program focused on cleaning up litter and blight in San Jose. Corps members' work has been focused on trash cleanup and sanitation services at encampments for residents experiencing homelessness. Lastly, the food distribution work. Food distribution was a program to help fill and distribute boxes of food through the Second Harvest Food Bank to address food insecurity during COVID-19. The report has 2 findings. The first finding is that the city can refine performance tracking and improve contract monitoring. Conservation Corps agreements contain program and participant performance goals, and overall, the Conservation Corps generally met these goals by providing hundreds of young adults with employment and training opportunities. In fiscal year 21-22, there were more than 400 Corps members who worked over 250,000 hours across the different programs funded by the city. The slide details program results and expenditures in fiscal year 21-22 across the different program areas, including 89% of the 106 participants in the Resilience Corps Environmental Pathway Program were recruited from low-resource census tracts. Corps members in this program worked over 72,000 hours, received over 13,000 hours of training professional development. Corps members also provided over 170,000 hours of food boxing in support of Second Harvest and completed 370 cleanups at various sites across the city. We did find that the city can better measure and track performance goals by developing timeliness or effectiveness goals for the Beautify SJ work and develop a process to better document post-program outcomes for the Resilience Corps. PRNS can also improve its contract monitoring by more consistently reviewing invoices and tying payments to completed work. Currently, there is an open audit recommendation to improve contract management within the department. Lastly, as some Conservation Corps funding has come from federal sources, the city is currently working to ensure compliance with federal uniform guidance around these agreements. We have recommendations to address each of these areas in this finding. The second finding is that the city can help promote a safer work environment for Corps members. As part of the Beautify SJ encampment cleanup program, Conservation Corps members work in the field and encounter safety hazards on a regular basis. In 2022, crews from the Conservation Corps encountered bio-waste or needles in roughly half of the 370 cleanups conducted. At the time of the audit, Corps members were not expected to dispose of needles or other hazards, and as such, there were not established procedures to address these situations. I do want to note that for the most recent Beautify SJ program, the Corps has been in the process of drafting new safety procedures around hazards in the field. And although the Conservation Corps provided various safety trainings to its members, not all Corps members were trained in Occupational Safety and Health Administration, or OSHA, standards or blood-borne pathogen standards. Lastly, upon completion of a site cleanup, crews completed an online survey which identified whether hazards were present. However, PRNS can improve the process to ensure follow-up service occurs at these sites. So to promote safety and address hazards found at the Corps cleanup sites, we recommend the city work with the Corps to finalize safety operating procedures for handling bio-waste and hazards, develop training requirements and guidance based on OSHA standards, and establish a process for notifying other groups in the city for follow-up services related to needles or other hazards. The report has 5 recommendations to better monitor performance and promote workplace safety. We'd like to thank the San Jose Conservation Corps, the Department of Parks, Recreation, and Neighborhood Services, the City Manager's Office, the Office of Economic Development, Cultural Affairs, the Finance Department, and the City Attorney's Office for their time, information, insight, and cooperation during the audit. The administration has reviewed the information in the report, and the response is shown on the yellow page, on the yellow pages of the report, and the report is available on our website at sanjoseca.gov/auditor. I ask that you accept the report and cross-reference to the April 25th meeting of the City Council. I'll now turn it over to Neil for the administration's response, and we're happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Joe. Neil Rufino, I'm the Assistant Director for the Parks, Recreation, Neighborhood Services Program, our department. I'd like to thank Joe and his team for their work, especially their professionalism and dedication to the city. I want to thank Dorsey Moore and his entire Conservation Corps for amassing the resources that have supported the community over these past few years. especially in their capacity of serving the entire county in food distribution through their partnership with Second Harvest, and of course their continued partnership to have them help us establish and maintain a healthier, cleaner and greener San Jose. As mentioned before, through this partnership, over 6 million meals were served, 72,000 hours of additional work, and over 370 cleanups were provided at our encampments, our trails, and our parks. We've also been working really closely with them in terms of career pathways to work with the Conservation Corps into careers inside the city. We're continuing to do that really well. And with that, I'd like to thank our staff in the Parks Department, our Deputy Director Avi Yodam, Tori O'Reilly, and Lisa Diebold for their work on the Conservation Corps contracts. A core belief of the work in Park and Rec is that we are driven by a need for continuous improvement. And with that, all 5 recommendations that the auditors have brought forward, we agree with. Of those, 3 are green, 2 are yellow, and we have target completion dates for all the items between June of this year through May 2024. And with that, I will close my comments, but I would like to ask the chair, Dorsey Moore from the Conservation Corps has requested if you can take a few words.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair Ortiz and members of the committee. I'm Dorsey Moore, and I have the privilege to be part of the leadership team of the San Jose Conservation Corps. Just wanted to really express my gratitude to the mayor and city council. I don't think any of you were serving in your public service capacity at that time, but you are currently now as the role in helping support Resilience Corps number 2, which is underway. And we took all the lessons that we learned through this audit, which we understand and concur with the findings and the recommendations, and we're hard at work with the city staff to help make the program better in its next generation. I did want to just highlight some of the key staff that I have here that we really did the big lift for this. So Edgar Echeverria and Brianna Horta, if you two could stand, I just want to acknowledge you for basically doing the lion's share, the leadership work on this program, and it was not easy. You know, in hindsight, everything looks 2020, but at the beginning of this program, when we asked these two to step up and serve, they answered the call and met the moment, so thank you for that. Anyway, grateful for the opportunity. The other part of this program, even though we're just doing an audit for this, but this funding actually also helped PRNS partners, such as Keep Coyote Creek Beautiful, Guadalupe River Park Conservancy, and also Vegelution, Our City Forest, and a couple other nonprofits. So grateful for this sort of collaborative effort, and great to be a part of this to help meet the moment for our community. And I think I'll turn it back over to Neil or Joe, and then also be available for questions. Thank you.
Excellent. I believe that ends the presentation. If we could open up for public comment.
Paul?
Yes, Paul Soto from the Horseshoe. First of all, I want to thank the city auditor for the report. I can always count on the city auditor for a very clean and objective report. And so once again, I've been following your work for a few years now. Thank you for the report. Secondly, the exposure. I'm tired of people from my barrios having to pick up bio-waste and needles. Over 51% of those sites are biohazards and needles. I really hope somebody on this council addresses that issue, because the man is in the room that's in charge of that. And he is doing that without any kind of OSHA protections. Absolutely no. And why that's happening is because of the types of kids that these are. Low census tract kids. Look at the language. Look at the word groupings. Low census tract, biohazard, bio-waste, trash. All of these word associations. When this program first came out, it was me, Councilwoman Arenas and Councilwoman Carrasco, and we wanted for these kids to be tracked and paid internships at all these high-tech companies. All these high-tech companies are begging to do work here in the city. Why is it that we can't create a system where they are being paid to learn coding? How come they can't be paid to learn entry-level, I don't know, engineering 101? Something that is going to create a viable career for the future. Why can't we do that? You know, because when we fail to do that, all we're doing is we're telling these kids that this is what value you have. Your value to my community is to pick up the trash and pick up the needles. That's how much we value you. I don't care what the words say. The third thing is that this document says that that's a living wage. I want to know what metric was used to use that language in this document. You said that you were paying these kids a living wage. I want that defined clearly and concretely. Thank you.
Blair?
Hi, Blair Beekman here. Thanks a lot for the words of Paul for this item. As public comment persons, me and Paul and some others, we have a difficult role to sometimes offer some words that are difficult to hear, but there needs to be dialogue about those sort of things, these sort of things. And Paul, you know, the work of the San Jose Conservation Corps, they do some pretty difficult work. And how can they be really justly rewarded for that work? Maybe is a way to put it. I don't know how to put it personally, but Paul has totally said some really important words today that they have very difficult work to do. And just to acknowledge that work here today, thank you for the work that they do. And boy, as a starting point, I just don't know what to say, because it does seem kind of it's almost like kind of what my life is like. I mean, I would be offered this kind of work, you know, and in the past, and I have been, and I am. I am your conservation corps, you know, coming to service for you now. And I don't know if these people are going to have the same fate. Do they have a better future lined up for themselves? What exactly is the situation? I don't know, but hope. The idea is hope. What can be good training practices that come with this sort of work? Hopefully Paul can really offer some good ideas in the future. He did here today. And I know you guys tried to do that here today. It's tough to offer the candid conversation sometimes needed, and just thanks that we're trying to do that here today. Thank you.
Back to the committee.
Thank you so much. I'm going to see if any of my colleagues would like to share any comments. Or, no? Okay, we do have somebody. Councilmember Candelas.
Thank you. I just wanted to express my appreciation to not only our auditor, but the Conservation Corps for stepping up, especially during the pandemic, whether it's, you know, the Resilience Corps, job training, or the food distribution, or even the homeless encampment cleanup assistance. The work of the Conservation Corps is critical and was critical during the pandemic and even now. Dorsey and I, with the conservation, go back to my Jim Bell days, and it's good to see you. And in addition to that, I'm happy that the audit revealed some improvements, especially around safety. I know one of the comments was mentioned on, you know, the needle and the risks associated with the folks who are our conservation corps folks who are on the ground doing the work, and some safety improvements associated that came from the audit and from the response from our city staff. We are working to get those materialized and get those standardized to protect our conservation corps students and young people who are participating in the program, ultimately making for a safer workforce. So I appreciate the work of the audit, and I appreciate the work of the Conservation Corps. That being said, I'll move acceptance of the report.
Second. All right, we have a motion and a second. Next up to speak is Councilmember Torres.
Hello, good afternoon. I just have a quick question for Dorsey, real quick. I want to let our public know that this is a very, very, very important program, not only for the city of San Jose, but for the lives of many of our underserved youth in the city of San Jose. So when participants go through the program, they eventually graduate with a high school diploma as well, right?
Yes, if they don't already have a high school diploma when they come in.
Okay, great. So, you know, I wanted you to say that for a reason, because it's very important, again, one, that we thank the San Jose Conservation Corps for stepping it up during the pandemic and stepping up for the city of San Jose when we have a void. And I also want to thank our city auditor's office for pinpointing and letting us know, to let them know that safety is important for these participants as well. So thank you for that, by the way. I have a niece who graduated from the program, so that's cool. kind of why I know. Regardless, do we have a clear? I want to know the clear numbers because I know that I had a meeting with some folks from the San Jose Conservation Corps where they let me know that the county actually hires more of our San Jose Conservation Corps members than we do, and though I love for them to be going to the county, we have large vacancies in our PRNS department and DOT areas. So is there like a clear? Do we have a clear number of how many Corps members come through our pipeline? And is there like a direct pipeline? Because I know that the county has one, but do we have one? And I know I don't think that's a question for you. That's probably a question for Angel or Neil.
I think I can start with that. So, over the past few years, we've been working on an internship directly with our Park and Rec Department and the Conservation Corps. Through that, we had 12 interns in the first cohort and 17 interns in the second or current cohorts. One of the things that we've been doing is offering a lot of city job interview skills. We've had our staff come to the Conservation Corps to do workshops on how to apply for a city job, what it takes to do the interviews. And we have maintenance assistant positions right now that are being recruited for, and it looks like we'll have about 32 of those Corps members interviewing for city positions.
Okay, great. So how do we get those 32 on board? That's an offline question, but when we get there, we get there. But it's very important that we have folks like our members, our Corps members, go into city jobs, and so I'm committed to making sure that happens. We just had a children and youth presentation, and the San Jose Conservation Corps is a place where our folks who could get that second chance need that second chance, and we all know that education is no longer one size fits all, right? So some of these kids can get their education while they're working. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Torres, for your comments. Councilmember DeMond.
Thank you, Councilmember. Thank you, the staff, the auditor, to come up with the recommendation, and thank you, Conservation Corps, for helping out on youth. And I think even in the fire department, we had quite a few of our members came from Conservation Corps. And we also have a retired firefighter who worked with Conservation Corps to educate our youth. Thank you for that. Now, this question for Joe, perhaps we have about 192 sites that has needles. And I thought, instead of cleaning afterwards, I thought, is there a recommendation that every single site that we encounter, after we clean it up, we should have those needle recycle red container? We strap it to a tree, we strap it to somewhere, so the unhoused resident who happen to be, dependent on drugs, they can drop those needles safely into those container versus throw them on the ground where our youth could step onto it and could be infected. Is there any recommendation for that, Joe?
So our recommendation was really about, so if the Corps members come across biowaste or needles, to have some sort of system, like a work order system, put in place that the other contractors or some other work unit would come and clean up that system. In terms of kind of an ongoing having containers available for at encampment sites, whatever, that's a broader question. I think in terms of encampment management, I think I would have to defer to kind of PRNS on if that's something they've looked at down the road. Now, and I don't know the pros and cons of that, so I don't really want to weigh too much into that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can just take a little bit. So that is definitely something that we in the Beautify San Jose unit will look at, in terms of the opportunity of how we can provide sharps containers, in a secured and common location and encampments. We'll look at that with our staff.
Well, thank you very much. I think that'll save us a lot of resource of redundancy if we can get all the needles and so on into one place, and definitely would keep our youth safer. Thank you so much.
If I could just add one thing. So one thing that we do note is that in not necessarily sharps containers, but they had the Corps would distribute empty bags for residents to put trash. So that could address potentially some of the incidents, not necessarily the sharps, but potentially some of the other things that they were seeing. So that is one element that the Corps was doing.
Thank you to my colleagues for all great comments and questions. I definitely echo a lot of your statements, and thank you, Joe and team, for your excellent report. As I mentioned, I went through the Conservation Corps as a youth at a subset youth program, and I could, I'm not joking, I'm not exaggerating. I wouldn't have graduated high school if it wasn't for the Conservation Corps. I, joined as a freshman, and it was an after-school program that taught us, work skills. They helped us with our schoolwork. They took us to all different sites and parks, in rural parts of the county, and we cleaned up. I don't remember working with hazardous materials, so I don't think we got the training back then either. But I don't want to understate how important this program was to my self-development as a person, as a human being, learning teamworking skills, and just as a working professional. And some of the work was hard. It was a lot of park maintenance, a lot of picking up trash or cutting weeds and things like that. But it also taught me good working skills. And I think whether individuals go through that program and they stick to that line of work, or they go to a different line or industry, I think the skills that they learned through that program will still push them to be successful wherever they go to. But I'm also happy to see recommendations. Any program can improve. The consistent improvement, I believe, should be a motto for government entities and private organizations and nonprofits. I did, see something, and I think it was said already a few times, but I was shocked to hear about the safety training and some individuals receiving the training and some not. So I wanted to ask, could we learn a little bit about how OSHA or hazardous waste interaction training is being rolled out at the Conservation Corps?
Yes. So a number of trainings that we have kind of there's contractual trainings, and then there's actually actual trainings. And so what I believe the auditor's office was looking at is everything that was sort of guaranteed or mandated by the contract. And we did lose some folks, and so not everybody kind of got that training, or maybe they were absent that day, and so they weren't able to get a sort of certificate for that training. But we take safety is our top value, and it is of paramount importance to the work that we do and everything that we do. And so, folks get safe. They don't go out on a project without having a tailgate safety meeting that identify all of the task hazards that are in front of them for that day. And so we make that happens every day or every new project that is required by OSHA. Unfortunately, we weren't able to kind of get 100% of the folks that have that sort of OSHA 10 certificate, but that doesn't mean that folks didn't get safety training. And as regards to sharps did become more of a problem throughout the life of this contract, just as we had more people sort of living outside. Unfortunately, and we just saw an increased occurrence of needles. But really, our supervisors are trained to handle those, and if folks see them, they're supposed to let their supervisor know to basically either report them or handle them properly as a trained professional. And so there were all these sort of safety checks in place, but to the letter of the contract, the safety trainings, we didn't get to everybody that we wanted to get to. Sure, we can do better, and also the bloodborne pathogen training typically. 2 years ago was just really for medical professionals, like operating in a clinic. They didn't really have a street-based one that until Caltrans developed one really in the past year. So we have Caltrans. We actually, it's more kind of like street-based sort of needles training rather than just like a bloodborne pathogen was like, hey, if you're doing a blood test on somebody, that's the kind of training that it used to be. So we're trying to get more effective trainings for what actually is happening out in the field. So I think in the last year that's been identified, and we're in action to put that in place.
Okay, so essentially we're going to be developing a work plan to address the trainings and to improve on making sure that our youth that are going out there in the field are prepared for what they're going to be encountering, essentially, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, good. I'm really happy to hear that, because I was concerned. And another thing, I as I mentioned, I went through the program. I have a lot of friends who I know went through that. I went through a youth program, but I know a lot of friends who were gang impacted or maybe got arrested during and did some time during high school. And when they got out, they were too old to go back to traditional high school. And so the Conservation Corps was kind of there to support them. And I know that one of the main, for a work and learn program, right? The main part of the work and learn program is to learn those skills, right? But then also you earn money. And so, I worked for a year up, and the pay for our participants could have been better, but we consistently tried to increase the pay to make sure it was competitive. Could you tell us a little bit about, how your organization identifies a livable wage, or what metric you guys use for that?
Yes, absolutely. One of the benefits of this program, or one of the intentions of this program, was to get people back to work. The transition age youth population was the hardest hit by the pandemic. All those sort of food service and hospitality jobs went away overnight. And so, it was the mayor and city council's intention to get people back to work, get money in their pocket. And so they were paid a living wage. And so that was 25, I believe, like 52 an hour. For 30 hours a week. So that's what folks are making, the 100 people in the Resilience Corps, both on the environmental pathways and also on the food boxing. And if you were to talk to our young adults, this kept people from basically getting evicted and from falling into the abyss, honestly. And so this program really, at its top level priority, what it was supposed to do, did what it was intended. And you talk to our staff, they could list 5 people that basically this sort of kept their family from falling out of, or into poverty, into the abyss, so to speak. And so with that, and that was the Resilience Corps first level. For the second level, it is at 80% of living wage. We weren't able to keep the funding at that level, but so it's at 21.56, I think, an hour for the 80% of living wage. And we have about 250 to 300 young adults collectively earning that right now in our program. And then just one last thing I did want to say is that, with this investment, over the last, we'll say, since 2016, that we've brought in about $40 million of non-city money into San Jose to help serve our community in many of the capacities that we currently have. And we're continuing to do that with state money, nature-based solutions funding, Forestry Corps money that's going to create new opportunities and pathways into these sort of climate resiliency careers.
And this, so I was surprised to hear 25. That's a lot more than what I thought it was. And then, so 21. What's the average age of of a participant?
So we serve between really 18 to 27, but the average age is probably around 19 to 20.
Okay, well, that was more than what I was making in that age, but I can understand here in the Bay Area, people making 6 figures are, or close to 6 figures are struggling. So I understand the need to raise, the payment, but in comparison to other programs that are like workforce, that's a decent wage. And then have you guys looked at how the training, like before and after the training, how that impacts like positive labor outcomes? How does it improve their wages earned or anything like that?
Yes, we don't have a great data set. It's more anecdotal than sort of qualitative than quantitative. At this point, generally we don't have funding for sort of post-core tracking, and so that is one area of improvement that we are continually working on, and I think that was also highlighted in the auditor report here. We continue to sort of fundraise for that to try to do sort of more longitudinal studies for the kind of efficacy of our program. Although we did have one kind of, I'll share with you, I think we have one person that ended up on the San Jose City Council.
There you go. No, it's thank you for that. But no, definitely, it's good to do that, because that way you could say, like, you're making $21 now, but this is what some of our graduates have been able to do and earn in the overall trajectory of their careers. And I echo my colleague, Councilmember Torres's comments in regards to workforce development, making sure you're patching in with departments here in the city of San Jose. But for individuals who don't want to enter into like the trades or something like that, have you thought about like, partnering with like Year Up or other workforce development programs to maybe funnel your graduates into other opportunities?
Yeah, absolutely. And even though we do training in environmental pathways, we're open to support wherever people want to go. We had 25 people hired by Life Moves and Home First during the pandemic as we were operating as a partner with the emergency shelters, and folks just found their calling. And through this service work, people find their calling. But whether they want to go into community health care, we've had a number of people go and work for community health clinics or community health partnership. In addition to some going into high tech, we have partnerships now with internships for Bank of America. And so we're looking to explore and kind of expand in that sort of sort of environmental field, just because our ultimate goal is to help our young people go where they want to go, not where we want to see them go.
Yeah, no, I mean, you guys are what you are. You're a conservation corps. You're going to be working in these hard-hit areas, a lot of labor and intensive type of careers. It's not, you can't do everything, and you just got to do what you're doing very well. So I don't expect you guys to be like funneling your participants into like Google or something like that. But we should, and when we think about career pathways, there's a lot of on-ramps into opportunity, and how do they go from one ramp to another ramp to reach their overall goal. So talking too much, so I just want to say thank you for your work, and we'll call it a vote.
That was unanimous.
Thank you so much. All right, that leads us to the next item, 2021 to 2022 Senior Services and Age-Friendly Initiative Status Report. I believe there's a presentation from Maria De Leon. Are people raising their hands already? Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, did you want to talk again? No, I apologize. Oh.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
It's me again. My name is Maria De Leon, and I'm Deputy Director with PRNS. I'm very happy to be here today. I am excited to introduce Recreation Superintendent Jeremy Schaffner and Parks and Recreation Facility Supervisor Rhonda Vargas, who oversee our active adults senior programs with PRNS. They're here today to provide you with an annual update of our programs, services, and activities planned and facilitated specifically for seniors out of our community centers. And additionally, you'll hear the details of our very popular senior nutrition program, SNP, and how staff navigated programming during the pandemic. Okay? So take it away, Jeremy and Rhonda.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Maria. Good afternoon, neighbors. Services and Education Committee members, City Manager's Office, and everyone else joining us today. Jeremy Schaffner, Recreation Superintendent, Parks, Recreation, and Neighborhood Services Recreation Division. Our PRNS Senior Services team continues to deliver high-quality, engaging programs to our older adults in a safe environment, recognizing ongoing concerns of COVID and the importance these services provide in increasing opportunities to socialize, access to nutritious meals, and ways to get active and recreate. In the past year, our senior services team has worked to increase awareness and participation in classes and activities located at community centers, increase access to digital devices, along with teaching our older adults how to use them and be safe. Continued efforts to return services and programs in person to improve health and safety, decrease social isolation, and improve civic and social engagement. In this illustration, it's busy continuing to resume in-person services such as the Senior Nutrition Program, indoor activities, and low-impact exercise programs, social events including dances at the Roosevelt and Mayfair Community Centers, and Lunar New Year events at many of our community centers. Staff did receive concerns from our Senior Commission regarding returning to in-person programming and nutrition. The concerns were related to a higher level of risk to older adults, lack of knowledge, and masking guidelines. In response to Senior Commission concerns, staff highlighted ongoing efforts to communicate symptoms of COVID, staying home if feeling unwell, masking guidelines, and speakers during our nutrition to educate older adults on health concerns, including COVID. Staff also developed a new flyer that is posted at all Essence Senior Nutrition Program sites, and it is included in materials to older adults. An example of the flyer is included in attachment A of the memo. I would now like to introduce Rhonda Vargas, who will be providing us an update on the senior services efforts, including senior nutrition programs and programming.
Thank you, Jeremy. As of September 6, 2022, we went back to our dine-in service model for senior nutrition program. PRNS continues to work towards senior nutrition goals of reducing hunger, food insecurities, support socialization, promote health and well-being, and delay advanced health conditions. We have accomplished these goals through providing nutrition meals for all older adults 60 and over. Transportation benefits include the GAP Pass through VTA that the city purchases from a grant we received 2 years ago. This offsets the 2 months that it takes a senior to start receiving their mobility management pass from the County of Santa Clara. Another example of transportation benefits that the City of San Jose provides is the taxi services for seniors who are unable to take VTA or have someone drive them to senior nutrition. Wellness presentations and workshops are being offered from our educational guest speakers. Opportunities to continue to meet new people. We're doing this by adding programs before and after senior nutrition program to engage seniors to be more social and active. Examples are fitness and exercise activities, or a special event like a dance, or the Lunar New Year event. All our goals help older adults live independently in the community of their choice. Good nutrition is important for health, physical ability, and the quality of life. The senior nutrition team continues to work with our partnership with the County of Santa Clara social service agencies to address all these goals. The data now that you see is our annual daily average meals that we serve. Regarding the difference of the delivery models that we had, pre-pandemic, pandemic, curbside, hybrid, and now post-pandemic. From the data, the post-pandemic dine-in model from July of 2022 through this January of 2023, we had an increase of 8% from our pre-pandemic. There was a typo in the memo stating 107%. It was to say 8% increase. The seniors are starting to feel more comfortable coming back into public places and participating in our in-person programs and services. We are continuing to see a slight increase each month of approximately 6% monthly. As more programs and activities are resumed, along with improving weather, we are enhancing our programs by interacting with our seniors, by having them involved in selecting types of programs they would like to see. We're doing this by the PRNS semi-annual survey. Our recreation specialists at each site are doing improv in-person surveys as part of their daily duties. The centers that have senior advisory councils are receiving input from them. And our citywide service team has been doing road shows, informing and receiving input from our seniors, not only at our centers, but also tabling events like Via Calle.
Additionally, I did a listening session. I did 2 listening sessions at Mayfair Community Center last month where we requested their input and feedback on programs and services that they'd want out of the center, and that resulted in that becoming the Senior Center Annual Work Plan for the year.
Like you can see in this slide, the pictures are from the input we received from the seniors have paid off. Our seniors are getting involved and being active in more programs. PRNS continues to offer free senior membership. The senior service team continues to support older adults with wellness checks. For example, this past summer's heat wave and this winter's inclement weather, our recreation specialists made over 2,000 calls to check on older adults to let them know that we had cooling and warming centers. Now that we're back in-person programming, staff continues to align with the age-friendly action plan to support balanced and effective program models, including activity programs, technology-based programs, and activities to reduce social isolation. The senior service team has brought back one of the most popular social activity next to our senior nutrition program. That is our dance socials that support older adults to increase their mobility, physical, and mental health. The social dance vary from once a month to 3 days a week, which allows older adults to engage, socialize, and be active. Mayfair Community Center's Active Adult program kicked off their social dance with a Fall Blast intergenerational gen-to-gen dance with older adults and teens from their youth center. They all learned some new dance moves that day. At Roosevelt Community Center, the older adult social dance are so popular, they're 3 days a week with over 100 older adults attending each day. The senior service team is transitioning from small social events like ice cream socials to larger events like the Lunar New Year, where more sites are having 100+ seniors participating in those events. All our older adult programs are planning at least one special event a month. Staff are resuming fitness and exercise programs like aerobics, badminton, low-impact exercise, gentle yoga, and Tai Chi. These services support older adults population with resources and support to get active, increase their mobility, and create social opportunity. We have sports programs for our older adults, pickleball, table tennis, and ping pong groups throughout the city. The senior service team had a citywide table tennis ping pong tournament this past October. We had 325 participants, with 50 participants participating in the 2022 citywide table tennis tournament. This tournament provided the opportunity for active adults from other community centers to socialize, interact with each other while staying active. The senior service team continues to offer programs to improve, support mental health from bridge, creative writing, explore literature, and taking English and Spanish classes. These programs support health and independent lifestyle for our older adult population. We received a grant from SourceWise to support digital programs, evidence-based group exercise. The senior service team resumed evidence-based group exercise and fall prevention programs to help older adults of all fitness levels. We're going to offer a new evidence-based program called Bingo Size to enhance our other programs like Enhanced Fitness, Stay Active and Independent for Life, known as the SAILS program. The senior service team continues to create and innovate ways to teach digital technology to support and needs of older adults to access technology safely and effectively. Now I'd like to hand it over to Jeremy to speak on Senior Health and Wellness Grant.
Thank you, Rhonda. As we continue to look at new opportunities to provide our older adults well-balanced programs and services, an important part of our service delivery model is partnerships. The Senior Health and Wellness Grant Program is a critical component to supporting our partners in delivering these services. Annually, we have $537,000 to provide qualified agencies. In fiscal year 21-22, the team was successful in administering just over $498,000 in services that included legal aid, tax preparation, dental services, and mental health support. As we continue, PRNS will continue to seek out important services that improve the quality of life for our older adults and align with the age-friendly action plan. PRNS continues to work to implement the age-friendly action plan as approved by the City of San Jose City Council, November 2020. PRNS, city departments, and partners continue to work towards the goals given the delays due to the pandemic. A key transition in the past year was the transition to in-person services and programs for our older adults to reduce isolation, increase activity, and support access to many gen-to-gen programs as stated in the age-friendly plan. Staff have used the action plan to guide program decisions and will continue to use it in making future programming decisions. Have been realized in implementing the age-friendly action plan. Some of these key updates from the memo regarding the age-friendly domains include transportation. PRNS and DOT continue to support Vision Zero presentations and education at all senior nutrition sites. Santa Clara County has expanded ride opportunities to additional zip codes, including 95118, 95119, 95122, 95123, and 95139. Outdoor spaces and living, we've resumed the senior safari with increasing attendance. June, we had 355 participants. July brought us to 443, and August ended out the summer with 500 in the Viva Kai. And Beautify SJ collaborated with residents to address blight and improve life throughout the city with thousands of volunteers over the age of 50. Our library partners, a new senior library card for seniors age 55 and over was introduced in June 2022 and as part of the City Council direction for fiscal year 22-23 to waive up to $5,000 in fines accrued by senior card holders. The city can, in regards to housing, as stated in the age-friendly action plan. With regards to communication and information technology, PRNS and San Jose Public Library continue to ensure our communications are supportive and inclusive to all of our user groups. Continued partnerships supporting our older adult digital literacy, tech time for active adults. San Jose Public Library offers weekly one-on-one tech consultations at various branches. And the PRNS and San Jose Public Library efforts. In regards to community support and health services, we continue to support the senior nutrition program. In multiple service delivery models, as Rhonda already communicated. Additional efforts include wellness checks and supporting older adults' awareness of resources to support them during an emergency. In regards to social and civil engagements, PRNS and the San Jose Public Library have resumed many of your efforts for senior nutrition, along with other park and special event opportunities. San Jose Public Library engaged volunteers supporting programs such as Reading Adult Literacy Tutor and Friends of the Library, with 92% of volunteers reporting they would recommend San Jose Public Library as a place to volunteer. In regards to employment and financial security, PRNS resumed tax preparation and legal services as part of the senior with partners going forward. PRNS will continue to collaborate with all city departments and partners to continue implementing and supporting an age-friendly city as we progress forward. This concludes our presentation.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Now I'd like to see if there's any public comment.
Cool. I want to have a breakdancing contest over there with some of the seniors. One of the things about this program and why it's important, this utopian city, what that has done is it's eaten into the seniors. Now, when the seniors were budgeted for their retirement, they had never anticipated, coming to this city and inflating inflating the prices of rents of just everything of the entire infrastructure. They're building it in their image, in that image when they were saving for their retirement. This is why it's so critical when you're making decisions. turning into the seniors' money because they had never anticipated this variable here in the city when they were planning for their retirement. That's number one. Number two is that my father's from, but Gardner Center, the Horseshoe, you closed that center down. So the seniors in my area, they didn't get those benefits. It was just a bunch of excuses from PRNS, just a bunch of excuses. I don't care what they say because it doesn't matter. The fact remains, they closed it down, and that center was given to that body as a result of. So I think there's a little bit of historical amnesia going on that needs to be accounted for.
Blair?
Hi, Blair Beekman here. I'm very sorry for my words on the previous item, for any awkwardness. I didn't want to offend anybody from the Conservation Corps and all the good work that people do. And it was nicely explained. People on the council staff have been a part of the council Conservation Corps as well. I'm really sorry about that. Thank you immensely for really good explanations about the safety programs that made things really clear for the first time to me and part of my awkwardness. Thank you. For this item, it bookends basically how this committee started today about, we started talking about with kids, the work we can do in the future of kids and how they can grow. And now we're at our elders and what programs we can offer them. So thanks for this work and effort. And interestingly, I feel, the work that I'm a part of, tech accountability, it not only offers our children really, really amazingly important good lessons about the future of civil rights and civil protections they can have and how to talk about the future of technology in their community. It's not only good for kids, it's good for our elders as well. If they want to get back into the computer process, if their lives are just feeling a bit down, these things are really hopeful ideas of what community sustainability can really be about. And if we really want to continue this practice of democracy in this country, I think these civil rights and civil protection ideas are really important and need to be really studied. And the work that previous councilperson Carrasco did for seniors, I hope her work can be thought of at this time.
Back to the committee.
Thank you so much. Now we will begin with comments and questions from the council, starting with Councilmember Candelas.
Thank you. I'm gonna just give a huge shout out to our staff for your work on this and this update. The senior nutrition program specifically, I know from my experiences at the Evergreen Community Center, are a staple to that community and are truly a lifeline. I was there last week actually, going and chit-chatting with the residents, and I can tell it's not just nutrition for our vitamins and our health, but it's mental nutrition, and it's something that's helping the mental wellness of our seniors in our community. And I want to just ask about the programming partnerships. I know you're doing extensive work with the county, SourceWise, and others. Are we working with like the Contractor State Licensing Board for like scam prevention services or scam prevention workshops? And the reason I say that is I'm actually hosting a town hall on senior scam prevention this week, and I think that might be helpful and beneficial, not just for the residents of District 8, but all throughout the city.
Great question, and thank you for the comments. Jeremy Schaffner, Recreation Superintendent. At this time, no, we are not working with that group. We would be happy to work with them, though. If your office would be so kind as help us with some contacts, we'd be happy to reach out. One of the options we do offer many of our partners that might not be within the Senior Health and Wellness Grant System or through an MOU for services at our sites is we do offer a guest speaker application in which outside agencies, groups can come in and actually provide us and help us with informational speaking and seminars to our older adults during senior nutrition. It's a very simple form we have them fill out just regarding what they're going to go over. It's a way that we can ensure the senior safety and that they're not being susceptible to potential scams or other things, and we verify the speakers. And so we'd be happy if you have any contacts to be able to connect us with, to reach out to them and see how they might be able to work together in the future.
Absolutely, thank you. I will definitely do that. It is a California state agency, so I would hope our state agency is not trying to scam our seniors. But but yeah, it's the reason was working outside of our region with our statewide bodies, whether it's the state licensing board or the IRS, for example, on helping seniors fill out their tax assistance forms. I was trying to think a little bit more macro level aside from the day to day. And if it's a form that they have to fill out, we can work through the logistics, and I would be more than happy to connect staff to make that bridge and connection. Thank you.
Yeah, I believe that we do have tax assistance during the tax season for our seniors. And additionally, we do have legal aid that provides advocacy and education and support in case seniors do come across scams or any other problem or issue where they might need legal advice or guidance.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, that service is important, and I would also be happy to be a speaker for you, or not a speaker, but to magnify the message through my newsletter, through my office, through the resources that we have, and yeah, count on us to be an ally in this, and thank you again for your work. I'll move acceptance of the report.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Who are you guys identifying for the second?
I had Doan for the second.
Okay.
Sure, we
All
can
right.
have it.
All right. Now we're going to Councilmember Torres.
Great. No, thank you. I just want to give a huge shout out to our Parks and Rec department who work with our seniors. One of the greatest programs that I ever worked with is working at the Alma Senior Center when I was a rec leader. My early days in PRNS, and so I worked at Alma Senior Center, and I soon quickly realized that it's so important for our seniors to be in person and to be eating healthy food. Most importantly, dancing. Goodness, they love to dance. I have 2 left feet, so I could never dance. But they enjoy dancing, and as a council member, I've been invited to the Roosevelt Community Center, and so it's just amazing to see our seniors of all walks of life, of all colors, of all languages, enjoying Latino-themed parties and Vietnamese-themed parties and Chinese-themed parties and Filipino-themed parties, and so it's very important that they retire with dignity, right? And that we provide them that extra support. So senior programming for our city is super important. These are the folks that built our city, right? And they also deserve our services. So thank you for all the work that you do. So.
Thank you. Councilmember Dewan.
Thank you, staff, for supporting our elderly. My parents are 82 and 89, and I'm part of the baby boomer myself. And I know that a lot of our senior nows are getting older and older, and they cannot drive. So in order to get that services that we give to seniors that can go to a center, what about the seniors that are stuck at home because of their disability? I'd like to know, how do you implement that program?
Great question, and thank you, Councilmember. We have a few different options for our older adults. We do work with Santa Clara County mobility management plans, so that this allows for us to provide transportation to those seniors that might not be able to drive, might not be able to use public transit or other components. And so we do work with them to identify ways in which to support them in getting them to our community centers to be able to participate in programs. This is Taxi. There's also the program they've been developing with Ride, which is a little bit more, I would say, if Rhonda, more like a Uber type program that is very low cost for our older adults in those approved zip codes. In addition, though, for those older adults that are homebound that are not able to come out. We do work to get them connected with county services that provide them with nutritious meals and other components that they might need support in. So we
And
work.
is this information available on your website, right? So that way, in multiple languages, I would hope. So that way I can copy, paste, and put it in our newsletter. So that way this, the elderly can get access.
We'll actually work on getting you the direct link, so that way you don't have to copy and paste. We'll work to get that link to your offices so that you have that. In addition, all of our site specialists work with the older adults individually, so that, because some of their cases are a little bit more unique and the general information that we might have on our website might not meet their needs, and so we do encourage those older adults to reach out to our specialists at the sites so that they can also support them with navigating not only to our services, but county services as well.
Thank you. I hear a lot of, not complaint, but they're just concerned that there's multiple ethnicity throughout all of our districts, and some of our seniors are getting served a very non-cultural food, if you will, and they get it, and they'll actually put it aside because they're not used to eating a particular food. How do you go about in order to have that cultural differences?
So typically what we've been doing, and our current contractor is Trio. Trio provides the service to PRNS that actually prepares the meals for all of our older adults. Each center develops a committee that actually gives feedback based off the feedback they're receiving from other members, other participants. That information comes together, and then we communicate that to Trio. Trio then develops their upcoming menus to reflect that feedback, but then also balancing our requirements with the county for it being a nutritiously balanced meal and working to achieve all of those different components. So each of the centers do have that. We'll follow up specifically with Seven Trees just to make sure that we have that committee fully in place, and that if there aren't maybe some additional folks that might want to participate with that committee to provide that feedback.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Jeremy, Rhonda, and Maria, for doing great work out there. Thank you.
Thank you to my colleagues for your comments. I do have a few comments. I want to thank the team for your presentation and for your work in the community. It's timely too, because I just visited seniors in my district at Villa de Guadalupe just last week. Amazing group of seniors. It's great work, exciting development as well. And I wanted to move into just a few questions. I wanted to ask, how is the age-friendly initiative collaborating with other departments here at the city, like, for example, the Department of Transportation, to achieve greater metrics of success, such as building safe and healthy communities through walkability?
So part of those components that we work with DOT is to support of the Vision Zero program that supports the safe walking of our older adults navigating streets. We actually worked with the DOT team prior to resuming in-person services, knowing that many of our older adults were going to be coming back to our community centers in a walkable fashion. And so we wanted to reach out to them to help them understand safety, understand new obstacles that they might be seeing as they return to the community centers after being home for so long. We did this through virtual webinars that our DOT staff was developed. They put it together. They worked with our senior services team and the site specialist to schedule those. And then we would notify our participants during the senior nutrition pickup during the curbside models. As we continue to progress forward, we continue to do those in person now, making sure to provide those during our senior nutrition times, given that that's typically the time where we see the highest number of participants and would have the highest amount of impact to our residents. As we continue forward, though, we will continue working with our reps and partners in DOT, but also multiple other departments regarding the initiatives that are identified in the action plan and how we might be able to continue those forward and bring those forward as part of annual updates in upcoming years.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for that answer. And just to comment in regards to that, and just speaking out loud, I think another department that may be worth collaborating with would be the Office of Economic Development and Cultural Affairs. You know, I could see like expanding visibility for seniors through banners and extra signage in our neighborhoods to make it a better environment for them. Within that line of questioning, what other strategies are being looked at in regards to transportation for seniors? So I know that you mentioned there is a service that we have with the city that provides transportation. So is that for any senior? Are they unlimited? How does that program work essentially?
So as of current, and I'll ask Rhonda to jump in case I get anything wrong, just to make sure that I do get it accurate. Our taxi service is limited to San Jose residents. So in most cases, it is limited to San Jose residents. We do have funding. There are actually 2 agencies that are currently on that are approved vendors that we can utilize to provide taxi service. In addition, our staff coordinates with county to be able to provide bus passes. And so this typically is something that's done, though, as a short term. So the taxi is used to get us through the wait period of the older adults. So when they come to our program, they notify us that they have transportation concerns about being able to get there on a daily basis. Our staff then immediately go into signing them up for the transportation with the county, and then interim provide taxi services. RIDE is a new program that we've been working with to try and increase opportunities. They offer low-cost rides, and so we have been working on that. One item we have not had the opportunity to bring back yet, though, is in previous pandemic, we offered a program in which we would actually provide participants with gas cards if they were doing carpools, where there would be multiple seniors that would all carpool together. And then the person that was driving that had that capacity would then receive a gas card that we would provide them to help in offsetting the cost of that gas. We have not resumed that yet just because there are continuing concerns with COVID, but we do look forward to potentially looking at that opportunity in the future.
No, thank you for your answer. I'd really like for us to, think outside of the box here because, a lot of our seniors may not be able to drive a car anymore, that unfortunately our eyesight goes, or various other conditions that may not allow them to drive. And bus pass, I think my colleagues may have community centers that are along bus passes, but Mayfair Community Center is not. So if a person is not able to stand for a long time or walk for a long time, we could give them a bus pass, but they won't be able to go to the Mayfair Community Center. So we need to think of ways in which, I don't know if that's a conversation with VTA or something like that, but we need to have conversations in which we're providing these services, but how can the residents across the district access them, especially for our seniors. Now I wanted to move into a conversation in regards to engaging media, which is referenced in the report as a strategy for outreach. Just wanted to see if you could clarify a little bit about what that means, what the media looks like, what obviously seniors, so how are you going to be targeting seniors in the overall strategy?
So typically when we get into our communications related to our older adults, one of our first and best is utilizing our phone calls. So it's where our specialists are calling, informing of updates, informing of components related to that. We do announcements at each of our lunch times. So when the seniors are there, we announce upcoming programs. We do this all verbally, and then we will typically reference to flyers that are available so that they're able to see those. We do social media posts. We do emails. We do recognize, though, that not all of our older adults are fully using electronic media as a mode. So that's where we do really rely on our phone calls, our verbal updates, but then also mailing of flyers and other components as we get those information out.
Okay. I was wondering because I know that with my grandfather, if we really wanted to target him, we put up a commercial during like Bonanza reruns or something like he was really interested in like the westerns and stuff like that. So I was just thinking how we were gonna engage our seniors. I've watched that so many times. As we improve healthcare and secure continuum of care, the role of our seniors becomes that much more important as people begin to live longer gracefully. These are our elders. These are our city historians. So I just want to thank you for your work, and it's an honor to serve this community by your side. Thank you. And I believe this is the last, open forum, right? Oh, we have to move this item. That's right. Do we have a motion?
Yes.
We do? Then let's vote.
Okay, the vote was unanimous.
We have to do one. All right, I believe that leads us to open forum.
Blair?
Hi, Blair Beekman here. Thanks a lot for the meeting today. This is a really good committee group, so thank you. To go back to the item that was passed over today at the work study session item, or the consent calendar item, it's my understanding that if an item has not been before committee before, it, according to the Brown Act, it needs to have public comment, even if it's deferred. That's my understanding. So with this item, we talked about digital inclusion in City Council a couple of days ago, but this had a bit more specificity to it that I don't think necessarily has been at another committee meeting before. And so I think there was a need for public comment, just to be clear on rules and procedures. Thank you. That's what I was trying to do before. I was taking my time about that, sorry. With my remaining time, I don't know. It's been a theme of myself this week, the concepts of civil protections and civil rights, about how we talk about, accountability practices. And hopefully by now you're getting a sense that this is pretty much what I talk about, and it's my life at this time. And I'm really hopeful in what it can do, how it can teach our young people. And I guess the questions for me this week is, do we really want to practice good democracy? What is the ideas of democracy in this country? And if we do want to practice it, I think civil rights and civil protections are some of the best ways to talk about it. How do people on the East Side want to talk about these sort of things? We want to talk a lot about racial equity, but we're a bit worried on the East Side to talk about the concepts of equality. And I think those are some of the basic procedures of how democracy works. So on the East Side, how do we want to actually talk about democracy? I think these tech accountability ideas are really some ways to do it. I'd like to hear other ideas. Thank you.
And we have one in-person speaker. Nathan?
Hi, all. I'm just a San Jose State student, and this was a political science assignment, but I'm actually a recreation student, and that's kind of like why I picked the committee. And I just really applaud you guys for trying to accommodate all life stages. You guys focused on children and helping out children. I think that's huge because our youth needs that, especially because I'm a football coach in the area, and I'm a teacher for a middle school for summer camp. And these kids really do need that extra support system. And then you guys also accommodate with the seniors. And I think that was also a great plan. And so you guys investing in that is great, but I also want to make sure that, like, are you guys making the proper outreach towards these seniors? And is there a type of, is that word, equity? Because like different areas need different needs and have different, you guys understand what I'm saying, but yeah, thank you though.
Paul?
Yes, Paul Soto from the Horseshoe. I want to thank the previous student from San Jose State for participating, and I would hope that you would return. I really encourage you, please, because you've identified the same thing that I have identified in these meetings, and that is that there's a moral responsibility here. There's a moral issue involved that is not properly articulated, because the city does not want to go into the area as to how immoral, unethical, and inequitable they have been. So rather than go into those areas so that they can properly institute the policy to address the issue, they don't want to address the issue. So what they do is they give these nonprofits and they just start filtering them with money. And they think that they have done their due diligence of the moral. because they still have yet to account for the Chicano community. The Chicano community is an identifiable group. You're not identifying the Chicano community, and you all know who Chicanos are. Just look at the 1960s and 70s newspapers here in San Jose, the Mercury News, and you will know who a Chicano is. And we are the ones that were responsible for getting the East Valley Clinic. We were the ones responsible for shutting Roosevelt down because of what they were doing to the children. We were the ones that pushed Diaz versus San Jose Unified School District, that desegregated the schools, which is a landmark case. We were the ones that instituted the 10 districts by which all of you exercise power. The authority that you have is exercised because the Chicano community made it so. So you're welcome. Thirdly, Everett Alvarez's name, I did not notice inside the Vietnamese museum. I think we need to change that. Everett Alvarez.
Jill?
Hi, I'm using a different device. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Thank you. Hi, this is Jill Borders. The other night at City Council meeting, I thought I had my hand up and I guess I didn't for the general plan review item. And so I'd like to give my comment now regarding that. And I think this committee is very appropriate. You guys are very in tune with a lot of the issues that are so important. I just wanted to say that the general plan is a complete and total nightmare, in my opinion. And much of our issues that we have here in our city, with all of the homelessness, with all of the prices that have skyrocketed and basically impoverished so many here, and put us on the brink of homelessness, a direct line can be drawn from when that general plan was voted on in 2011. Make no mistake, as Paul Soto pointed out the other night, Michael Brio said housing was not a major strategy in our plan. But one step further, you need to look at the maps, because not only was housing not a major strategy, the strategy was to take away housing. And the reason I'm so passionate about this subject, and it needs to be really discussed and looked at, is, for example, my mobile home park and several others were just literally the park on a map. Like when you think about gerrymandering, they were drawn onto an existing priority development area that was just other, existing certain buildings that were not housing. But they would take the mobile home park and add on the mobile home park. Then they sent that off to the MTC and ABAG to be changed into a priority development area. And when I asked Michael Brio point blank, on the phone, he said, well, basically, it's like, well, do we kind of really want to have these parks in this direction? And so this is a fact. And we have to start looking at it. So from my point of view, our general plan is totally based on
Back to the committee.
We are adjourned. Thank you all.